Welcome to video number 22. As always, my name is Alex Green. This is the High School Wrestling Rule video series, part 22. And as you saw by the thumbnail you clicked on and the link description, this is Flagrant Misconduct.
Flagrant Misconduct.
Flagrant Misconduct. Now, there's a couple places in the rule book, the 2019-2020 rule book. As always, I like to give where the reference spots are. That way, in case you have a book, you're at a tournament or whatever the case is, and you want to look up the rule, or you just want to double check me, feel free. I triple check my stuff before I put it on here, before I film, after I film, and before I even post it. I go back through and make sure that everything that I'm saying matches up to the rule and the section in the article that I'm giving you. So there's 4 places that you can find the flagrant misconduct explanation and definition in the 2019-2020 rule book. Rule 5, Section 12, Articles 1 and 2. Rule 7, Section 4, Article 3. Rule 7, Section 5, Article 5. Rule 8, Section 1, Article 7. Now, in the video on the referee hand signals, you guys seen all the hand signals. The only one that was added was the concussion time for injuries. The referee hand signal is still the same. It's still the pat on the head. Doesn't matter which color, as long as the referee indicates, I got flagrant misconduct on red, or I got flagrant misconduct on green. As long as they get the right offending party correct, because in the heat of the moment you may, tap your head with the wrong hand or whatever the case is, but as long as the referee's getting across this point that one wrestler or maybe even both wrestlers are being ejected for flagrant misconduct, and it's documented properly on the bout sheet or in the score sheet, the bout sheet, however, at a tournament or dual meet, whichever one you're at. As long as that is documented properly, that's all that really matters. But this is the hand signal, just a pat on the head, and that's it. This is the 2019-2020 NFHS rulebook, and I'm going to read the flagrant misconduct definition, explanation straight out of the book. That way I'm not ad-libbing or adding anything or taking away. This is exactly how it reads. Flagrant misconduct on the part of coaches or other team personnel are acts which the referee considers serious enough to remove the offender from the premises, can occur prior to, during, or after the match, including the use of tobacco products. Flagrant misconduct shall be penalized in accordance with the penalty chart. Contestants. Flagrant misconduct is any physical or non-physical act which occurs before, during, or after a match, considered by the referee to be serious enough to disqualify a contestant from the match and any additional wrestling in a multi-school event. These acts include, but are not limited to, striking, butting, elbowing, kicking of an opponent, use of any tobacco products. If, in the opinion of the referee, a wrestler bites an opponent, this will be deemed as intentional biting and will be called as flagrant misconduct. That is directly out of the book. Now let's elaborate just a little bit on that. We're going to move to Rule 5, Section 29, Article 2. Continuing acts of unnecessary roughness may be construed as flagrant misconduct. Penalty points for unnecessary roughness shall be awarded in addition to points earned. Now, just a couple examples of unnecessary roughness. A forceful crossface, a forceful trip, a forearm or elbow used in a punishing way, such as on the spine or in the back of the head. There's a video coming on unnecessary roughness. It's just going to take me some time to film, get some wrestlers, take a day to film. I know practice is going on right now and tournaments are going on, so it's going to be kind of tricky, but I promise that video is coming. But you can pretty much use your imagination. That powerful crossface repeatedly. If you get penalized once for it and the match is heated, maybe they've had some words, and then you can just tell, you'll know it when you see it, when a crossface is uberly hard than what it should be. A hard trip back, using the point of the elbow on the spine and the back of the head, using it for punishment. that can also be considered flagrant misconduct. Now, here are the penalty assessments for flagrant misconduct. It's right in the penalty chart. There will be a link for that in the description. And this is how it reads. There's no warning for flagrant misconduct. As soon as the referee sees it, and something else, it does not have to be the referee on the mat where the match is taking place. If any referee that is booked or scheduled to be there witnesses any flagrant misconduct from a wrestler, a coach, team personnel, statistician, physician, trainer, anybody associated with a team that is there, flagrant misconduct can be called on them before, during, or after a match. Here's how the penalty reads. Disqualify on first offense. Deduct 3 team points and remove from the premises immediately for the duration of the event. Now, if it's multiple day, guess what? You're out the rest of the days. Contestant is eliminated from further competition for the remainder of a dual meet, multiple school event, or tournament, and no team points can be earned in an individual tournament. In dual meet competition, any team points earned shall be negated. Going to read something else here for you. Rule 8, Section 1, Article 7. Flagrant misconduct results in disqualification of the individual immediately removed from the premises and the deduction of 3 team points on the first offense. Now, here's something that not everybody knows. If it's a contestant, a wrestler, they're listed in the book as a student. It says, a student may be removed from the premises only if there is an authorized school personnel present to supervise said student. So you just can't hit somebody with flagrant misconduct, eject them from the gym if there's no coach that can watch them, no statistician, no parent with them, no guardian with them. If that's the case, they have to be confined to the bench area at a dual meet or at a tournament, a designated area. Most gyms have like an upper deck. They have, bleachers come out, the upper part of the gymnasium. I know I've been at tournaments where some wrestlers have been ejected for flagrant misconduct. Nobody was there to supervise them outside of the coaches who was there with their other kids. So they were confined to the upper part of the gymnasium for the remainder of the day. If no supervision is available, the student shall be confined to the bench area. Any contestant disqualified in an individual tournament competition is not entitled to any points earned in the tournament. All advancement points, fall points, placement points, etc. are negated. All vacancies created in the tournament pairing shall be scored as forfeits. In dual meet competition, any team points shall be negated. Flagrant misconduct will disqualify any individual from the remainder of a multi-school event or tournament. So let's go over that real quick. No warnings for flagrant misconduct. As soon as it happens, it's an immediate ejection from the premises and a multiple day event. If it's first day and it's a 3-day event, guess what? You're out the next 2 days. Any points that the wrestler earned, now this is only wrestlers. If coaches, team personnel, anybody that didn't score points get ejected, it's just 3 team points. Now, if a wrestler gets ejected, and let's say they're in the championship round, they've won the tournament, they've got first place, and for whatever reason, after the match, the winning wrestler comes up and just knocks somebody out or goes up and tries to fight with somebody, the referee deems that flagrant. Every point that wrestler earned is gone, plus 3 team points. So at the state championship, just for example, or state duels type of event, that wrestler may have just cost his team the state championship because they just lost all of his advancement, all of his placement points, and 3 team points. So something to keep in mind if you want to, get in the ring and fight, take up mixed martial arts, take up boxing. Don't do it at the wrestling event. You're only going to hurt your team. You're only going to hurt yourself. And something else too that I need to throw in, I'm not sure about every other state, but I know in Kentucky, if a wrestler gets ejected for flagrant misconduct, that means they are ejected for the next 3 varsity contests. If it's at the beginning of the year, they're out the next 3 contests. If they play, say, football, let's say they're a junior, they get ejected at the state tournament flagrant misconduct. They're ejected for the next 3 the next 3 varsity football contests. After the 3rd one, they can play. It doesn't matter if they quit and come back, they're still considered ejected for 3 varsity contests. They could play baseball, they could play whatever sport, cross country, track. It's 3 varsity contests that they cannot participate in if they're ejected for flagrant misconduct. Video 18 in this series I did on fights and ejections. I'm going to link some or have some of those clips in this video after I get done talking here. That way you can kind of get an idea of what we're working with. But it's pretty self-explanatory. Any striking, elbowing, headbutting, biting, use of any tobacco products, kicking, and another one is the use of profanity. That could be what we call curse words. There's some major words that are a no-fly zone with me. Also, the use of any type of racial slur or any type of use of a word, the R word, that is associated with somebody with a mental handicap. If that is used, whether that's in joking, used in context talking to the other person, on the mat, before, during, or after, your day's over with. For me, it is anyway. With using those type of words, I don't use them. I don't let wrestlers, coaches use those type of words. I tell them in weigh-ins. Everybody that I've ever weighed in, I give them the speech. You act like an idiot in the mat area, your day's over with. And they know it. They know that, number 1, I'm fair, I'm firm and consistent. And number 2, they know I'm not there to give them a hard time or make their life miserable. I do this because I enjoy it. They wrestle because they enjoy it. As long as they're having fun, I'm having fun. But whenever they take it to the next level and they make me step into a role of an authoritative role that puts me where I have to eject somebody, I will do it. I don't want to do it, but as part of the business. Wrestling is an emotional sport. You have to have some emotion to compete. This is the only sport where it is a complete one-on-one event. If you don't win, you can't blame nobody but yourself. And sometimes people don't like, I hate losing. I'm sure everybody that competes hates losing. Nobody trains to be second. Everybody wants to win. Sometimes in the heat of the battle, things are said, things are done, that 5 minutes later you look back on and say, man, I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done that. In scholastic athletics, we have to emphasize positive values, and any act that can be deemed flagrant is not a positive value. It's not what we want to say we represent. We don't want the people that are not involved with wrestling to say, man, those wrestlers, they're crazy. They fight, they do this, they do that. We want them to know that even though wrestling is probably the toughest high school sport, is also the most disciplined. That our athletes, our student athletes, are the most disciplined of the sports that school offers. That they're not better than, say, the football team, the swimming team, the track team. That they are more disciplined. That if they don't win, it's nobody's fault but their own. They didn't train hard enough. The other person was better. That's life. Get in the mat room, get in the weight room, make yourself better.
Excuse me!
That's it!
Hope you enjoyed those clips. Going to wrap this video up. Just a quick recap of flagrant misconduct. This is the hand signal. The pat on the head is immediate ejection. 3 team points are deducted. If it's a wrestler, then all points that they earn, placement, advancement, anything in a dual meet, those points are negated. Any spots going forward in a tournament or duel, they're considered forfeits. The flagrant misconduct, there's no warning. As soon as the referee or an official sees it on site, your day's over with for the remainder of the day and the remainder of the tournament if it's a multiple day event. If there's no supervision for the ejected party, it's just only students, coaches, team personnel, statistician. Now, if a statistician is a student, a lot of times teams have student managers, student statisticians. If it's one of them, they get ejected. They're following the same criteria as a wrestler. They don't lose points because obviously they didn't wrestle. But if they're going to be ejected for flagrant misconduct, they have to have suitable supervision, whether that's with a parent, a guardian, a coach can take them to the bus. Or if not, if that's not feasible, they have to stay in the upper part of the gymnasium, away from the mat area, or on the team bench. Sometimes the way gyms are set up, there's a concession area maybe across the hall, like a lunchroom. They can be in the lunchroom by themselves as long as there's adult supervision for them. That way they don't get in any more mischief. Hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, and subscribe. Share the video. We want your input. Leave me a comment on what video you want me to do next. And we'll see everybody on the mats.